Melanin Monarchy citizens. This is your Monarch here at another live musical event. We're going to continue with this music therapy here, and I am at the Pachanga Arena. If you're from San Diego or the Southern California area, then you know this area, Sports Arena Boulevard. It's now called Pachanga Arena, and it's a pretty cool venue. I'm going to go in tonight, and it is the, what is it called? The Valentine's Super Love Jam. That's what it's called, the Valentine's Super Love Jam. And there's gonna be a whole host of artists here tonight. I'm really here to see the Mary Jane Girls and the Floaters, you guys. I gotta go in. I know I'm missing somebody right now, but I'm gonna head in and I'm gonna give you all of the tea for this particular live event. What I'm gonna try to do, because there's supposed to be 8 artists tonight, I'm gonna try at each intermission give you a little rundown of whom I've seen. All right, you guys, to the pit. I will see you on the inside.
Listen, take my hand, come with me, baby, to love land. Let me show you how sweet it could be. Share love with me, I want you to now.
Just in case you guys didn't hear that, that was the Floaters, and everybody knows that the Floaters are from Detroit. Your Monarch, is from Detroit, so of course I had to support and see the Floaters. I have some family connections also to the Floaters. That's a whole different story, but I did want to give them their props because, you know, I want to support these acts. Now the Floaters, they only did a couple of songs, and of course they did their famous song. I'm not sure if any of the original members were here tonight, and so a couple of the members have passed away, if you guys noticed that. But this is the Valentine's Super Jam 2026. It's being put on by the radio station. I forget what's the radio station. I want to say 96, but it's the X-Man, Javier, the X-Man. He's emceeing this thing. And we're gonna go and we're gonna see the next artist. I'm a little flustered because I'm trying to watch myself with people around me, you guys. And this is what happens when you go to these big live events, especially something here at the Pachanga Casino. All right, you guys, we're gonna check out the next act. I will see you through the bit. This is why the Mary Jane Girls are important to your Monarch. First of all, I shouldn't have been listening to them at, you know, like 8, 9, 10 years old. That's another whole story. Gen Xers, we just did whatever. But the reason why the Mary Jane Girls are important to your Monarch is because of JoJo. Now, if you've seen the girls from back in the day, JoJo was she was chocolate. She wasn't dark like how I am. But she was brown compared to the other girls. And she was a lead. So when me and my girlfriends back in Detroit, when we were singing in my house, we were doing our whole Mary Jane Girls, you know, rendition, our own concert. Your Monarch, got to be JoJo because I was dark. And everybody else was fighting to be Maxie. Maxie was white, but whatever. Everybody was fighting to be Maxie. But your girl always got the job as JoJo. So I was always the lead when we were trying to be Mary Jane Girls. Now, another thing is what I want to remind everybody you guys know about the beef that Rick James and Prince had. So Prince did Vanity 6, you know, then Apollonia 6, and Rick James did the Mary Jane Girls. So the purpose of them was to have, you know, an offshoot like girl band that was supposed to be sexy and all this other kind of stuff because they were rivals. So the Mary Jane Girls are completely underrated. Now they had 2 of the originals, and the other 2 have been touring with them for quite some time now. And another thing about their set is that they had visuals. They had the Mary Jane Girls in the back, which the Floaters did not have, and they were saying the original Sherry and Maxie. So I appreciated that and having some type of visuals. So it looks like that these guys are only doing 3 songs, which I do appreciate. And we're gonna go in and we're gonna see the next person. All right, do the bit. See you in a second. Last year, 2025, at the Viejas Arena, and I'm seeing, as you can see, they were here tonight, and the crowd just went wild. I mean, it's a bunch of vato locos, vato locas. I mean, it's some chola. It just, I can say my Latino brothers and sisters know these songs backwards and forwards, and they ain't playing when they're singing these songs. And so Rolls Royce, you know, they're always a crowd pleaser. They're gonna do wonderfully, and I'm gonna make a correction about the Floaters later on at the end of this video about their visuals, what happened with their visuals. But again, we're gonna keep going with this Valentine's Day Super Jam. That's what it is, a Valentine's Super Jam. Rolls Royce, number 3. I'll see you at the next one. To the pip.
Since I know that it's the one that love, and I do a few slow jams for y'all tonight, San Diego.
Esa gente latina, ¿dónde está? Come on! Hey! Yeah!
fly. Sugar had to get so fly. When we rise, we'll play the world high. We know what we do, watch the flames get high.
Citizens, this was my first time, very first time experiencing Frankie J and Baby Bosh, and this crowd was all about it. So it seemed like there were a lot of old school people like me that were there for Mary Jane Girls and Rose Royce and the Floaters, and then they took it to the late 90s or early 2000s with Frankie J and with Baby Bosh, and the crowd just exploded. They were loving it. They loved that. Again, that was my first time experiencing them. I thought they did a fantastic job, and it seems like, okay, well, they are like kind of hometown boys. They're from Southern California. Frankie J, I believe, was born in Tijuana. That's like basically San Diego #2 or whatever. And so these were hometown boys basically from Southern California, so the crowd was really out for them. People behind me, people around me were singing their songs. I had no idea what was going on. But it's not about your monarch. It's all about the audience. And they did a wonderful job. And this was the first act that actually made connectivity with the audience. Baby Bosh, she was asking about did anybody purchase any of his merch. Someone in the front held up a shirt. He signed the shirt. They handed him off the shirt. He signed the shirt. And he did marvelously with marketing his merch, which was a lot of artists, they don't really know that they need to do that while they're on stage, and that is okay. It's not tacky. All right, you guys, I'm gonna go back in for the next one. They're doing this really, really fast, which I love it. So I'm gonna go back in. I'll see you in a little bit.
Ya sé que tengo que buscar una manera de superar este dolor. No me puedes olvidar un día para otro, aunque me digan todo mundo.
Another first, MC Magic from Mexico, coming out of Arizona as well. So that was your Monarch's first experience with that. And again, the crowd was loving it. They were all over the place for it. I also like the fact, his connectivity, him throwing out the roses. When you're dealing with Valentine's, you know, that's appropriate to do. And he threw out white roses, which is my favorite. And I thought that was pretty cool. He also platformed his son and to, you know, put his son out there, his son's music. And again, I appreciate that, you know, giving it to the next generation. So now there's a big rush. So all these people are rushing around because Mr. MC Magic said that he was going to be signing merch at his merch table. So a lot of people are running out to try to get some pictures with him and get his merch and have him sign his merch. And I thought that was top tier audience engagement and connectivity for MC Magic. He gets an A++ for tonight on the CAST system, on that CAST, connectivity, aesthetics, sound, and temperature. He gets an A++. He had it all in there just for the 30 minutes, probably 25 minutes that his set was and that he was on stage. So even though that's not my music, that's not, you know, what your monarch would normally listen to, as far as a performance, as far as the royal treatment of what an artist should be giving their audience, Mr. MC Magic, mwah! You did a very, very great job. I'm gonna be tagging you on this part of this video. All right, you guys, I'm gonna go back in and see if who we got next. All right, toodle bit.
play. Baby. Say what? I like the way you work it. Club tight all day, every day. You're blowing my mind, baby, in time. Baby, I get you in my ride. I like the way you work it. Yo, diggity.
You know, I remember the 90s. Of course, I remember the 90s. I was like my high school, into my high school, my early college years. And you guys, I forgot that the phrase that we used to use for the gluteus maximus was rump shaker. Completely forgot that we used to. What happened to rump shaker? What happened to us saying rump shaker? I don't know. I used to like it when we used to say rump shaker. So that was Blackstreet Boys, and they came out very nicely. They came out at the end, and they looked really good. They sound really good. I thought it was a little bit too much bass for me on their track. I'm just enjoying this whole show. So here's a little bit more of Backstreet Boys.
I can do it now, no more. Say what, say what? I'm talking to you, come on. It's your turn, San Diego. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Sing it. Shout, shout, let it all out. These are the things that we do without no more.
Now that was interesting. It looked like there was an out of order lineup, and so Heat Wave should have been down towards Mary Jane Girls and the Floaters, but they ended off this whole event. And the only reason why I can think something like that would happen is that somehow they were late, somehow they were delayed, and so they had to keep it rolling. They couldn't wait on them, so they had to keep going. Or the other explanation could have been that one of the other artists decided that they wanted to go on earlier, and they had to bump somebody, and maybe it was a rock, paper, scissors thing, and Heat Wave said, okay, we'll end it off. But it's just the flow of the event is jarring because you have Heat Wave at the end instead of with the other legendary acts like the Floaters, like Mary Jane Girls, and like Rolls Royce. And plus they're still on, they're performing, you know, Always and Forever. It just breaks up the flow, and a lot of people were waiting for Heat Wave. So you had a lot of maybe older people who were waiting for them that didn't get a chance to see them because it's after 11 o'clock, you guys, and Heat Wave is just ending. And so, you know, these things happen, and sometimes it's things that beyond your control, and you just gotta keep going, and you just gotta hope that your audience and your fans understand. And so I do understand that, so I would have liked to have seen more of Heat Wave. They even, what I didn't get to say is they booted Blackstreet off. Blackstreet actually had a couple of more songs playing, at least one more song, and they were like, nope, they cut their mics off and they were like, get up out of here. So we're rounding it off with Heat Wave, and I would love to see Heat Wave again, probably in a smaller venue and maybe have more time to dedicate a lot of their hits, because you guys know Heatwave had a lot of hits. No, we don't have Ron Templeton anymore, but the music still lives on. All right, citizens, thank you for staying with me this long. We're rounding off this Valentine's Super Jam 2026 given by the Pacific Concert Group, also promoted by Magic 92.5. And so overall, I think that Magic 2, I believe I've been to a Magic 92.5 event, another like Super Jam or some kind of Valentine's Day event before. And so here it was another one, and they did a pretty good job with the flow of it, like keeping the artists coming through. They did their transitions very, very fast. And also they kept the audience engaged while the transitions were going on. I don't know why these big things, you know, you have multiple artists, why they don't do that. Most do, but you have some, like I went to the 80s wave at Pechanga Casino, and that didn't happen. And so you had this dead air in the middle. And so, you know, that doesn't work for your audience member. But here, the flow was really good. The transitions were really good. What I would suggest is that whenever they can, they make sure that the lineup, you know, stays steady. You know, if the lineup, you know, messes up, then maybe they can post it online or something like that. I love the fact that the DJs came out. The DJs were always engaged, and the DJs were always pumping up the radio station. I don't know who listens to the radio station anymore, but apparently a lot of people do, because there are a lot of radio listeners, loyal Magic 92.5 people here. Yeah, maybe, you know, Pechanga Casino, it seemed to be a little bit too big for this event, maybe. But maybe they have an agreement with them and they get a pretty good deal, a pretty good leasing deal with the Pechanga Arena here. And so my hat is off to Magic 2.5, and I will see you guys at the next event. And so people are starting to leave out of here as it is after 11 o'clock. All right, I remember what I wanted to say about the Pacific Concert Group. You guys can't have all these artists anymore. It's 8 artists. It's too long. And maybe you guys didn't meant for that to happen. Maybe you meant for it to go a little bit smoother. Maybe you meant for everybody to be out of here by 10:30, 10:45. It's after 11. It's more like 11:30. And so having 8 people, I would even go down to 5 or 6. I would do 6 instead of 8. Still keep it at their 15, 20 minute, like 3 songs. Keep it there, except for the headliner. But, you know, 8, we didn't really need 8. We really didn't. It was good. It was great that you guys got 8, but that wasn't necessary. All right, you guys, I will see you at the next live entertainment event. Doodle pip.